26th annual WWE Summerslam pay-per-view that's going to be coming to the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. On paper, looks like we're going to have a pretty damn good card. But just exactly how is some of these matches going to play out as far as who's going to be victorious? You know what time it is. It's our Call That Match edition of the RCWR show. And folks, it begins right now.
The following is an Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, interactive. Covering the latest in wrestling and beyond, you're listening to the RCWR show with Lee Sanders.
Pleased to meet you. Nice to know me. Black Avenger, a.k.a. the Black Azrael, Lee Sanders here, welcoming you to this special edition of the RCWR show. It's our Call That Match edition, where we're going to be taking a look at the 26th annual WWE SummerSlam pay-per-view that's going to be coming to us this Sunday. And good folks, if you are not able to be there at the event, you got the next best thing. You get to see it live on pay-per-view. Now, this marks the 5th consecutive year that SummerSlam is coming to us from the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California, for those of you keeping that track. Now, the last time SummerSlam was at a different venue, it was at the Conseco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. Yeah, good little trivia for you right there. Without any further ado, let's go on ahead and let's take a look at the entire card for this Sunday's SummerSlam. Those of you that are a little bit new to this, basically I put my thinking cap on as a writer and also a booker, and I use that little bit of experience that I have to try to offer really good thoughts, analysis, if you will, of who I think is going to be walking away victorious from each respected pay-per-view. So this pay-per-view that we got this up is SummerSlam. So let's go ahead and let's have right at it. Cody Rhodes taking on Damien Sandow. I don't need to spend that much time on that match for the simple fact it's not for the Money in the Bank briefcase. A lot of folks I know are probably disappointed that it's not for the Money in the Bank briefcase. I've got to go with Damien Sandow. I think he needs the momentum right there. Of course, one of the matches that's going to be going down is Dolph Ziggler teaming up with Kaitlyn as they take on Langston and AJ Lee in a mixed intergender tag team match, if you will. This one has been brewing for a couple of weeks now, pretty much ever since Dolph Ziggler came back from that severe concussion that he had suffered at the hands of Alberto Del Rio, which had resulted in him losing his World Heavyweight title. Dolph Ziggler just really trying to be mad hungry and chasing after that world title. He would end up dumping his girlfriend at the time, well, now his ex, AJ Lee, as he really didn't appreciate the little bit of mishandlings that had came about the few times that she was involved in some of his matches, Ziggler wanting to go solo. And of course, as that Prince song goes, or as the old saying goes, hell have no fury like a woman scorned, was AJ, as she vowed revenge on Dolph Ziggler and leave it to Langston to pretty much be there to console her and try to basically go, there, honey boo boo child, everything's gonna be okay. You got big chocolate daddy over here. And Langston taking up the good fight for AJ Lee would end up getting physical with Dolph Ziggler. So we've seen these two guys throw it down the past couple of weeks. Kaitlyn is a no-brainer to be involved in this, as Kaitlyn has been chasing after AJ Lee for the past several weeks now, wanting to get back that Divas title. We got the ingredients right here of a great tag match that folks can definitely feel very invested into. Now, when we talk about who needs to come away with a win from this match, man, honestly, I'm really enjoying the union of AJ Lee and Big E Langston. Honestly, I would need to see Big E Langston and AJ Lee go over Ziggler and Kaitlyn. That's what my heart is saying. Do I think that's actually going to play out? Not quite, because what would really sell even more in front of that Los Angeles crowd would be to see Langston, AJ Lee lose, and we just see AJ in the middle of the ring screaming her lungs out, pulling her hair out, just throwing a little temper tantrum like a 3-year-old that's not getting her way. I'm sold on that better. Does this mean that Dolph Ziggler and Kaitlyn will then continue to go on as a tag team, if you will, as a union? If maybe this will have Dolph Ziggler go in a different direction? Not quite. I don't see this being done just yet. I see the team of Dolph Ziggler and Kaitlyn continuing to have each other's backs, but Sunday, I definitely got to give the edge to Dolph Ziggler, Kaitlyn. I got them being the winners in that tag match. Kane is taking on Bray Wyatt of the Wyatt family in a Ring of Fire match. Now, I know this has some people kind of kicking back going, well, what type of match is this? Is this going to be an Inferno match? And I just want you guys to be prepared, because you hear Ring of Fire. What's some of the things that come into your mind? Well, for me, I'm probably thinking of Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire. Great freaking song, by the way. But not that type of match, you know. You kind of have to go back to maybe the Inferno matches. Is that maybe what we're going to see at SummerSlam? If so, then we have to remember that Kane, he has a pretty bad track record when it comes to the Inferno matches. Remember, back at Unforgiven 1998, he lost to The Undertaker. His arm was set on fire. Then in the second Inferno match, once again, he got beat by The Undertaker. This time his foot got set on fire. That was in 99, by the way. Also, of that same year, Triple H defeated Kane. His hand ended up getting set on fire by Viscera and Median. Then you got to go a couple of years later, 2006 Armageddon. Kane, he finally picked up a victory as he defeated MVP Montel Vontavious Porter. But you just look at that track record that Kane has when it comes to the Inferno matches. I'm led to the belief that this isn't going to be an Inferno match. I think this may be a situation where it kind of plays off of what we've been seeing past couple of years in those WWE SmackDown versus Raw games, where we have that ring that's surrounded by fire. I think it's probably going to be one of those type of matches where we're not going to see somebody's limb needs to be set on fire. The ring is just going to be surrounded by fire, and it's pretty much just going to be a regular match that can only be won by pinfall or submission. But in either case, as far as who's going to walk away victorious from this, my God, guys, have you seen the type of reactions that Kane has been getting now that he's been flying solo? I mean, it just really confirms the doubt that we had in our minds initially, which was Kane. He's been at this for a long, long time now. Maybe it's time for him to just go away for a while. Maybe it's time for Kane to go on ahead and set off into the sunset, enjoy retirement. He really hasn't been getting that type of a good reaction ever since he's been separated from Daniel Bryan. To say, in a nutshell, Kane, he's just not going to be able to get the job done at SummerSlam, I feel. We're talking Bray Wyatt, aka Husky Harris. This is a guy that is pretty much with this white hot stable right now, known as the Wyatt family. This is Bray Wyatt's debut at SummerSlam. I'm sorry, any way you cut it, Bray Wyatt, he's going to pick up the W by hook or by crook. I'd say look for interference by the other Wyatt family members, but when it's all said and done, Kane, however you want to dress up this fire type of match that he's going to be involved in, he's going to lose regardless. So Bray Wyatt, I got him picking up a W. Let's go to our next match, which sees Christian #one more match. Well, he's got it. He's taking on Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship. For you ladies out there, you love the way I let those R's roll off my tongue, didn't you? Oh, wow. Yes, Christian, one more match. This is a match right here that I feel we need to spend just a little bit of time on, just a little extra bit of time, because this match has some serious implications. This is a match that could go in a couple of different directions right here. Now, let's just deal with the match for what it is right now on paper. There's probably those of you that's looking at this match and you're saying, well, gee, Alberto Del Rio, surely he's going to go over, right? That would kind of be the clear-cut way to look at it. But see, then you have to remember the events that we had saw on Raw from last Monday night. As we saw returning Ricardo Rodriguez, he tried to help out his long best friend, servant, if you will, ADR, in his match against Rob Van Dam. Things didn't go quite right. RVD picked up the win, and how did ADR repay a returning Ricardo Rodriguez? He beat the holy living crap out of him. It was so bad, Ricardo was taken out on a stretcher, and we haven't heard anything about him since, where it led to the impression that maybe he's going to be just on the shelf, just out of action for a little bit. How badass would it be, though, to see Ricardo Rodriguez interfere in this match, looking for that big payback from Alberto Del Rio, and cost him the World Heavyweight title? Thus, this sets up a frustrated Alberto Del Rio to perhaps begin a feud with Ricardo Rodriguez. And I've said this a couple of times now, and I can't stress this enough. Ricardo Rodriguez, don't let that suit and his face fool you. This guy knows how to wrestle. Remember, there was a few times in the WWE earlier this year where he was wrestling under a mask as a luchador, and he was getting really great props for his work. So we could be seeing a really good rivalry begin to brew between Del Rio and Ricardo. This is one that definitely the fans will probably really want to get behind and see. This is a position right here where if WWE handles this right, whatever's going on with Santino Marella right now, Ricardo Rodriguez could easily slide on in there, be that new Santino Marella. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Some of you may feel that he's already a Santino Marella, but with Marella being gone for so long, I don't know. I just have this feeling that Ricardo would really be pretty freaking awesome. Going into this rivalry with Del Rio, maybe even going into singles competition. I know we're looking too far ahead, but I got a weird vibe. Ricardo's going to interfere in this match. Folks, I see Christian becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion, but mark my words, Christian will not hold that title that long. I see him being some type of a transitional champion. Maybe perhaps to set up the future Money in the Bank contract holder of the World Heavyweight title, Damien Sandow. That's a different story for another time. Let's move on to the next match. All right. We got two big matches that we need to talk about as we are handling the card as we have it right now and at the time of this recording. And we got to talk about the CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar. It's the best versus the beast. Oh, this is a match right here where, it could go in a couple of different directions. I mean, honestly, I got to go with my gut instinct. Brock Lesnar, he has just manhandled CM Punk the past 3 times now. You can tell me, oh, but Lee, CM Punk, he held his own against Brock Lesnar for a little bit. Notice your key words right there. For a little bit. Okay? CM Punk has never truly gotten a one-up over Brock Lesnar. And with that being said, honestly, I think CM Punk is going to go over Brock Lesnar. To get your ass handed to you that many times, you lock it up with Brock Lesnar. that just says to me without a shadow of doubt that CM Punk's going to go over. I think what's going to be even more intriguing for us to see for this particular match is how they tell that story of CM Punk going over. Because keep in mind, this is a match that you can't just have wrap up in 5 minutes, because this is a main event. This is a main attraction of a match, if you will. Fans are going to want to see this match play out for at least 15 minutes. They want their money's worth, okay? I would suspect that this is going to be one of those type of matches where maybe early on, Brock Lesnar, he's probably going to be dominating Punk, but then maybe something weird happens as the action finds its way outside of the ring. CM Punk, he's able to capitalize, and from there, basically the turns have tied, and CM Punk is the one that's going to be on the offense, and he's just going to be having his way with Brock Lesnar. Then maybe once again, it's going to go back to Brock Lesnar. I could definitely see in the final few seconds maybe a good series of counters, things of that nature. But I see CM Punk, the underdog right here going into this match. I see him pulling the upset victory right here. You know, how badass would it be as we have Paul Heyman involved in this? No doubt he's going to be at ringside. Just how badass would it be to see the one and only Rob Van Dam get involved? I mean, folks, I said this last week. Since Rob Van Dam has been back in the WWE, he has yet to cross paths with Paul Heyman. And remember, RVD is a former Paul Heyman guy. Just where exactly does he stand in seeing what all has been going on with Paul Heyman, as he has this ruthless alliance, if you will, with Curtis Axel and Brock Lesnar? Just where does RVD's allegiance lie? And folks, that's a name I want you all to be prepared for, because I have just the strongest feeling that we're probably going to see Rob Van Dam make some type of an appearance, and by Rob Van Dam making that appearance, it's going to help even up the odds. The way I'm picturing this right now, especially considering we don't see Curtis Axel on the card, who knows, maybe he might be on the pre-show. If not, I would say have Curtis Axel get involved, try to sabotage this match in favor of Brock Lesnar. You can have Rob Van Dam come out. Talk about a really good mark-out moment for WWE fans, as you have them all watching all the Paul Heyman guys just getting it on, and talk about the fallout from that afterwards on the following night for WWE Raw. You could see a great tag match go down with CM Punk teaming up with Rob Van Dam to take on the team of Brock Lesnar, Curtis Axel. Oh, but wait, as Paul Heyman likes to remind us, his clients do not fight for free, but that would still be a great match to see play out. Hey, maybe it could happen on pay-per-view, but for CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar, the Beast versus the Best, or the Best versus the Beast, it's the same damn thing. I've got CM Punk, best in the world, going over. Alright, boys and girls, we are now down to one last match. John Cena taking on Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. We've seen the CEO, Vince McMahon, get involved in this match, and it's been very interesting because Vince McMahon, he's gone on record as of late, and he said that he doesn't particularly care for John Cena being the WWE Champion. He's also gone on record and said he doesn't care particularly much for Daniel Bryan being the WWE Champion. Let's take that a step further. As much as he doesn't like John Cena, he loathes Daniel Bryan. He doesn't want him anywhere near the WWE title. Meanwhile, we have Triple H, who feels that Daniel Bryan is very deserving of this opportunity, that he would be a great WWE champion. Stephanie McMahon, she's been trying to play advocate. There's a lot of cooks in the kitchen when it comes to this particular match right here. No doubt, this match, just on paper, I don't know if you guys are picking up the same vibe, but this match is like John Cena versus CM Punk 2.0. Cena is really going to be taking on one hell of a wrestling, and I gotta stress that word, wrestling athlete in Daniel Bryan. Probably one of the best technical guys that is in the WWE right now. Without a doubt, we're going to see a really damn good match. This is probably going to be one of those matches that's going to have a lot of John Cena fans, or those that don't like John Cena, at least for one night on this night, say, well, damn, John Cena, he actually was pretty okay against Daniel Bryan. But the finish to this match, as much as I am led to believe that we're probably going to just see a clean finish of a match, I see a lot of heads popping up in this match. And SummerSlam has had a history of giving us a couple of swerve balls, if you will. Something that kind of give folks talking going into Monday's Raw. I got a lot of shenanigans going down in this match. I think one of the things that we're probably going to end up seeing happening, it would not surprise me if maybe we see Vince McMahon come out and he tries to do his best to deny Daniel Bryan getting the opportunity of becoming WWE champion. I could see Vince McMahon doing something very shady, like maybe ringing the bell prematurely, kind of similar to what had happened with Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Survivor Series 97. What was that, out there in Montreal? I could see something like that going down. I could see Triple H coming out, and he's trying to make sure that the match continues. Him and Vince, they get into it, physical altercation. WWE officials, the locker room or whatever, they gotta break it up. I could see a lot of pandemonium just happening outside of the ring, while really our attention should be on what's going on in the ring. Now, here's the $1 million question. Does Randy Orton cash in that WWE Money in the Bank briefcase? That's the real question, because keep in mind what Vince McMahon has said about John Cena, Daniel Bryan. He said that he wants a champion that's kind of like Triple H, but younger. Might that answer lie in Randy Orton? Most importantly, what role will the Shield play? Once again, we're looking at the card as it stands right now as of this recording, and the Shields, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, they are not even involved on this card. Now, could they maybe play a factor into this match, or maybe they're going to be involved in the pre-show as they defend their tag titles, or maybe Dean Ambrose will be in the pre-show. He'll defend his United States title. There are just so many different ways that this match can really play out, but trust me on this, there's going to be a lot of shenanigans that's going to go down in this. Two scenarios I'm seeing play out when it's all said and done. Daniel Bryan walks away as the new WWE champion. That's scenario one. Scenario two, we see the Shield get involved in this, and basically, folks, we don't see a champion get crowned. Nothing happens. Cena retains. Just both guys are just beaten up. You can stretch it out. Maybe you could do another pay-per-view where John Cena takes on Daniel Bryan again for the WWE title. That's another angle you can have go out. Normally, I will jump out there on our Call That Match editions, but for this particular match, I cannot give you a clear-cut answer. I would love to give you guys a clear-cut answer, but just based off of what I said, I think you all can agree that this can go in a couple of different directions. If you guys want me to pick just one, I can't even do that for you guys. I would love to know what you guys think, but that's wide open right now. I'm not going to touch that match. And boys and girls, there you have it. Let's take it up to the top, or from the bottom, however you want to work it, And let's work our way through some of these matches here just to recap. Cody Rhodes taking on Damien Sandow. I've got to go Damien Sandow. For Dolph Ziggler and Kaitlyn taking on Big E Langston and AJ Lee, I got Dolph Ziggler and Kaitlyn going over. Kane versus Bray Wyatt, Ring of Fire match. Hey, Bray Wyatt, this is pretty much his wrestling in-ring debut, if you will. I got Bray Wyatt going over. For Alberto Del Rio taking on Christian for the World Heavyweight title, I have Christian becoming the new champ, courtesy of a little help from Ricardo Rodriguez. CM Punk, the Best, taking on Brock Lesnar, the Beast. I'm looking at CM Punk picking up a much-needed win over Brock Lesnar. And for the WWE Championship between John Cena and Daniel Bryan, too close to call. There's a couple of different angles that can play out from that particular match. That's a match we're going to be needing to watch very carefully, though. Hey, what are your match predictions? We'd love to hear from you. Hit us up on Twitter at the RCWR Show, also at Infinity One Prod. You can also check us out at our Facebook page at Infinity One Productions. YouTube subscribers, you can hit us up at the RCWR Show, and you can leave your comments as far as what you think is going to happen at Sunday's SummerSlam pay-per-view. And tell you what, if you are spot on, we'll show you some love live on the air for our special SummerSlam Post Show. You'll be able to catch that this Sunday at 10:50 p.m. Eastern, or immediately after SummerSlam goes off the air. Phone lines will be open. Our chat room will be open as we want to hear from you.